Right, obligatory earnings disclaimer there, and uh, anyway, read it now. What do we got? All right, so we're gonna do. This is I'm just like doing a thing non-formally because look, man, everybody on YouTube like uh, they're presenting things like they're a friggin' like super expert, and actually, even if they're trading for 4 or 5 years, they're not. Um, But at the same time, uh, I remember one time, I had learned some basic options stuff, and but I didn't know. I just kind of knew the Greeks of the options, and I didn't know in depth all the strategies, and then I was like, well, you know, you know what? What if you bought an option, once it got to the strike price, but then you sold another put at that same strike price, and then you would be hedging your risk. And I'm a genius, for figuring this out, because my only risk is the option premium. But then you could sell this option premium, and then you know the whole thing that I had thought I was a genius for was that like I had discovered a strangle, or I had discovered a butterfly or something like that. So anyway, I thought that was pretty funny. But so there is definitely some good things to be had in studying all of the greatest minds of the markets. Um, but in this case, um, I don't really find anything that is exactly what I'm looking for, because I want to make a kind of indicator. Um, anyway, so here's what we're looking at right now. Um, this is a one tick chart of the NQ, and I'm just doing playback mode of August 6th, 2024, 12:02 a.m. We're at right now. Middle of the night, really. Uh, when the markets aren't doing too much. Um, and what all these things are, the white dots are the one tick chart, or just one tick. That's basically every sale. Then the colored sort of jaggedy thing, that is the cumulative delta of the session so far. And so right now, the session is, you can see over here, so we're at negative 400 delta or so. And then these other two things, the sort of pink and dark pink, those are moving averages of this delta. Um, so of the cumulative delta for this session. So um, in this case, the moving averages are around 300, negative 300 delta, and then the slower or the faster one is negative 377 delta. So um, all things being equal with the delta, if the price is going down and more of the sales are at the bid instead of the ask, like here, delta just went down like a lot and the price went down fine. And here, okay, the price just went up a few ticks, and all green, so I just have it green if it sells at the ask and red if it sells at the bid. I guess that's important that you know that. So the thing is that, like, that's kind of what we expect. Like, if everybody's selling, a lot of the sales happen at the bid. Um, and even if we look at the time in sales, look at the time in sales over here. Uh, just look at only there. So this is coded so that green is if it sells at the ask, and the salmon if it sells at the bid. And then you might have noticed something that was even dark red or a dark green, and that is coded that it actually sells below the bid or above the ask. So dark green is it sells actually above the ask, and uh, dark red is it sells below the bid. And you can see it doesn't do that too much, but look at that. So we have to say that the price went up. They were aggressive buyers, and then there was nobody at a certain price level, and it had to go above the bid to sell. Here it went above the bid again. So right now it looks like I would, without looking at the price, I'd say, yeah, the price must be moving up a little bit. And then let's look at what happened. Yep, okay, sure enough, price moves up a little bit. So we do that in markets all the time. And by the way, these other three things are just other moving averages. Kind of ridiculous to do a one tick chart, moving averages on a one tick chart, but I'm doing it just to try to learn a few things. So these moving averages are around 610 for the bigger one, 377 for the next one, and 144 for the next one. So um, the equivalent of whatever, a 144 tick chart, a 377 tick chart, and a 610 tick chart. And oops, let's uh, let's do that. So here's the thing. So there is a relationship between delta and price, and all things being equal, if the delta is negative 577, I'm going. I'm leaning towards the downside, but we just had this huge up move. And it's kind of interesting. The delta just went down like a stone, and the price went down like a stone. Then now the delta it went up, but then the delta didn't really gain much, but the price gained a hell of a lot. So that's a delta divergence right there, kind of small, but um, so would you take that uptrend? No, you wouldn't, or at least you'd be a little suspicious of it because if the buyers aren't that aggressive, um, we don't know. Are people selling there? So anyway, and you know what we can do? I've got my little strategy I can put on here, and we won't. This strategy marks a couple extra things that are going to be kind of interesting when that happens. So um, you might not be able to see this in the recording, but if the price goes up, but the delta, but it sells at the bid, which is not what we would expect, uh, all things being equal, then it will color that thing in blue, that particular bar, or in this case, that tick. Okay, yep. So it's on. All right. So we don't have any of these yet. Um, and then there's a couple other things that it does when usually right now, like we expect the price to go down, all things being equal. All the moving averages are going down. The delta is going down. Uh, no, nothing different there. But it's interesting. Once the price got to this level, what happened? Well, price just went way up, even with very little delta. So um, this is on a small chart, but these divergences are also happening a lot of times on the bigger charts. So we're looking at the NQ. This is like 987 volume, almost 1,000 volume, and we can see like, okay, well, we're delta's been going down for the last little bit. I don't have when the session. Oh, here's when the session started. That's interesting. Price is going up, and the delta is going down. So we know from our normal all of our little training that we did is, well, okay, then that means that powerful buyers are buying at the bid, and they're buying when they can, um, and but they're 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 not buying uh, where they're just getting in at market for the most part. They're either buying at the bid or they're just having limit orders at the levels that they want. And when the sellers are getting aggressive, the real guys are buying it and sending this higher. All kinds of little narratives you can tell yourself. But what I'm trying to figure out is uh, let's see if we can. Let's load a template here. We're going to load a template with like the kitchen sink of stuff. See what we got. All right. All right, we got a whole bunch of extra stuff on here. Um, the exact same chart, but now down here we've got the green, we've got the VWAP, and then when I click on this, you'll see all of the standard deviations of the VWAP. So this also happens all the time. You know, a lot of guys like here the price. Uh, it's not obvious before, but some bot is just the VWAP is going up, the price is above the standard deviation of the VWAP, and they just buy it with limit orders there. As long as that uptrend is happening, they want to participate in it. But if the price gets beyond uh, that, oh, let me see. This is the okay, first deviation, second deviation. Yeah. So if it hits the third deviation, they'll probably sell it, and a lot of people lost. But then once it gets to the first deviation, a lot of people are buying it. But then if that failed, there you go. So where is my delta? Um, do I have anything? Let's just find. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Okay. These bars here, for each bar, that's the bar of delta. And uh, okay. And so this is not this is just the delta of each bar, but it's not the cumulative delta for the session. So, what we'll do, since we can do it, we're just going to throw another thing on here. Like, I don't think I would actually trade like this, but um, if you have the lifetime for NinjaTrader, they got this nifty little overflow cumulative delta. We'll do that. Order flow cumulative delta, sorry. Okay, we'll do bid ask, session, no size filter. Do it on each tick. But we're going to do it same as this series, but on the left. So it's going to be at the same chart that but it'll be on the left. And let's see if we can. Okay. Well, it wasn't what I really liked. What I really wanted. You see these bars here? It made all these bars go, but it's a different scale. We're scaling everything on the left. Here we are at negative 600 delta. That's fine, but these bars are a different scale than the price. So yeah, But it is along the lines of what I kind of would like to do if I could. Anyway, let's see if we can make this look a little different here. Can we do this? Yeah, we don't want. We don't really want to. Oh, you know what we're going to do? We're not doing this. Okay. We're going to just remove this. And instead, you know what we're going to do? We're going to do. And we're going to just do an EMA1 of the order flow cumulative delta. So watch this. We go. Time, the period will be 1. But now the input series will be an indicator, which will be order flow cumulative delta. Same thing, bid ask session. Yep, and we'll just do that. Okay. And what color are we going to make this thing? All right. Too many decisions. Gotta be something I'm not really using. Okay. Well, we're going to do yellow. We're going to do a dot. Dot. And we're going to make it kind of big. Oh, and I messed up. We want it input series on the left, not on the right, or we're going to mess up our whole thing. Okay, and we got these dots, which is a little better. And then, you know what? Let's try. What are we going to do here? Yeah, let's do a line that we got here. Okay. All right, so that's the best I can do for now. I mean, we can do a lot of different stuff later, but all right, but that's kind of interesting. So as the price goes up, that's pretty smoking, right? Delta is going up. Okay, if you got in there, the delta's going up to the next one. Here, most of the delta, well, delta is still each bar. This is only that particular bar. So we lost some delta on this bar, and then we gained some on this. So here, we lost a little momentum and then gained it. But now look at this. We get to price here, but the delta is dogging out. And in there, look, delta, let's see. Okay, here we go. Delta just goes down like a stone. Price goes down like a stone. Okay. So, right, that's doing kind of what we expect. And then we can see that the delta, here the delta is going down, but the price goes way, way up. And that's awesome. But, sorry, everybody. Hopefully, I'll be able to remember to edit that out later. Or I won't. I don't know. Okay. And now delta is going down and price is going down. Okay, that's fine. Now here, delta is not really going up and price is going up. And now delta is going down and price is going down. But all this time, all this time the VWAP is going up, but just barely. And all right, now here the delta's going down, but the price is going up. And right here is where you'd be like, okay, now I've got a delta divergence. These 4 bars around here. Wonder if I could see. Let's just highlight this region right here. So everything there is kind of how we expect it. There we don't know, but delta is going down. But right here, oops, I didn't want to do that. Let's get rid of that. Uh, okay, yeah, this is good enough. So there, price is going down, delta is going down, very good. Delta doesn't change, price doesn't really change. Delta doesn't really change, price doesn't really change. Now delta goes down, price doesn't really change. So here, all here, delta is going down and price is going up, right? And now delta goes up and price goes up. Okay, that's fine. Delta goes down a little bit, price goes up and retraces. It's not the end of the world. Now, delta goes up, price stays the same. And now, delta goes down, price goes down, delta stays the same. Well, actually, here, delta goes way down, price kind of stays the same. So let's see what we got here. Yeah, now delta, now here, well, it kind of helps to look at these bars and see what happens. So right here, delta went up for that whole bar, and then we kind of lost everything and retraced everything, and now delta goes down for this bar and price goes down. All right, here delta doesn't do nothing. Price doesn't do nothing. Now delta goes down, bar, and then the price goes down. And then here you could see the delta goes down, but not that much. And now delta is still going down, but not that much. But overall, our delta is falling like a stone, our price is falling like a stone. So, yeah, that's kind of interesting. Like your VWAP is going up, you think everything's great, but through all this time, the delta is sometimes going up when the price is going up, but basically for this session, the delta. Well, let's see. If this was the delta started positive 500, and even since I've been talking has dropped 200. So even though the moving averages are going up and we're above, well, we just actually fell below the VWAP for the first time, and we're really falling, and the delta is really falling now. Our Even though you had this great thing that you would think is an uptrend, it's actually your bias should have been to the downside this whole time, unless like there's nothing wrong with like, okay, you've got a bar and the delta is positive and the price is moving up, like, okay, you can do a scalp if you want, but you're not going to think like, hey, I'm going to stay in this thing for like 2 hours because the evidence is not there. So actually, that would be interesting. Okay, now I've got an idea for a little rule that we could make, which is that if the delta for this bar is below 0 and the well, I got to make some rule for price, but that's not too hard. Like, it'd be great is if, I mean, you could do something simple like if the open of this bar is greater than the open of the previous bar, or, this is kind of nice. This is a real small, I just have this as I think this white one is a 1 moving average. Let's see if that's, I just put that, yeah. So it's a 1 moving average that works on price change. And I didn't even, usually when I do this, I have it's a volume weighted, because I just wanted to, it's basically like almost what would be the point of control of each bar, even though I already have the point of control because I have a volume profile of each bar. That's a whole other deal. But if I could just say this moving average is higher than the previous bar, that's good enough. But if that moving average is higher than that previous bar, but the delta is below 0 now, then we can color code that a different color. So if you're thinking like, okay, this green line is the 20, you're thinking, okay, it hit the 20. This is a great time to, like, we've got a little pullback. It's great to buy it. And then, maybe you do buy it, but now you see the delta not where you want it. Uh, it's like, okay, you might take a scalp, but you might not want to stay in it because it'd be better to wait for a short. And here, like, that's a much better short than that's a long. But same thing happens in trading. Like, all right, here's this level here. Price went there and then didn't do shit, which means that there's no more sellers or there's strong buyers. We don't know. But now I got an idea for a little thing I can code. So we're good. That's it. That's it for this. I'll come back later and show you what I coded.